Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire.
In order, they've managed to come away smiling after series against the Twins, the White Sox, and the Rangers. A win today versus the Mariners will make it 4 straight series wins for the Tigers and keep them at the top of the fist fight that is the American League Central Division. On a Sunday afternoon downtown, it's the Tigers hosting Seattle here on Fox Sports Detroit. It is the first place Tigers. Granted, they hold a share of the top spot with a mere percentage point separating Detroit and Cleveland. Hi, everybody. I'm John Keating in for Mario Impemba. Rod Allen along in just a skosh. The Tigers had their chest puffed out a little bit after last night's game because they cooled off one of the hottest pitchers in baseball. They got to Michael Pineda. Jim Leyland saying after the game, if you're going to be good, you got to get to those guys. Reigning Cy Young Award winner Felix Hernandez presents a little grander challenge. Tigers will try to get in the way of his recent ownership of them. Hernandez has gone 7-0 in his last 8 starts versus Detroit, holding them to 3 runs per 9 innings. And King Felix beat the Tigers on April 24th here at Comerica Park, where he is 3-1 in his career. And he comes into this start today in Detroit a little bit grumpy because the White Sox roughed him up in his last start against them in Chicago. Should be a great matchup, almost game time here at Comerica. But for now, back to the Call Sam Studios in Ryan Field. And Mariners get set to wrap up their weekend series. Here's the Mariners batting order presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Ichiro Suzuki, having gone 2 for 4 last night, will lead off after having had Friday off. He'll be followed by Ryan and Smoke. Jack Cust re-enters the Mariners lineup. Carlos Peguero, the big story on Friday. Miguel Olivo's had just a dreadful series. Gutierrez, Figgins, and Wilson round out the top of the Mariners batting order today. And our scouting report on Tigers pitcher Rick Porcello, presented by Scott's Lawn Pro.
Well, Rick really shouldn't change a thing going up against the Seattle Mariners here this afternoon. He needs to stay with that sinker ball. It's been an outstanding pitch for him all season long. He's also mixed in all of his off-speed pitches, the curveball, the slider, the changed up. They've all been effective, and more importantly, he's got a swagger back. He's walking with his head up, walking tall, and pitching with a lot of confidence these days.
Ready for baseball. The first pitch of the ball game to Ichiro Suzuki is a ball 59 degrees. There's almost a startling batting average for Ichiro, 256. Ground ball to the right side. Ramon Santiago over to Miguel Cabrera. 1 up and 1 down for Rick Porcello. Hey, in this game, we are participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run raises $15,000 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by calling 800-798-CURE or go online to www.pcf.org. After 4 days, 18 home runs have been hit, raising $270,000 for prostate cancer research. We've got a great pitching matchup today, but there's a part of us wishing for some long balls so we can add in the fight against prostate cancer, which has affected so many people in our viewing area. Brendan Ryan stepping in against Rick Porcello.
You never know. Rick Porcello pounds that sinker at the bottom of the strike zone, so it's tough to lift the ball against him. And Felix Hernandez, one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, he usually doesn't give up a whole lot.
There's a strike on the outside corner. Rick Porcello in his 3rd season, 6-3 with an ERA of 3.58 in this one. And he is on a very nice roll. 6-1 with an ERA of 2.60 in his last 9 starts.
I believe coming into this season, they knew what they had in Scherzer, they knew what they had in Verlander, but they were unsure which Porcello would show up this year after really struggling last year and having to go down to the minor leagues for a spell.
Right back up the middle. Santiago from behind second base. Safe. Ramon Santiago with a great backhand way on the edge of the infield, but he didn't have enough on it to get Brendan Ryan at first base.
Let's take a look at the Tigers defensively. In the outfield is Dirks, Jackson, and Bosch. In the infield is Kelly, Peralta, Santiago, Cabrera. It's Victor Martinez who gets the assignment behind the plate tonight, catching Porcello. I didn't think there was any way that Santiago was going to get to the ball, let alone make it as close at first base as he made this play.
Nice pick by Cabby at first, but just an eyelash late. And Ryan is aboard with 1 out. That'll bring up Justin Smoke. Tiger killer Justin Smoke with 4 homers in 6 games. The centerpiece of the trade between Seattle and Texas last year that sent Cliff Lee to the Rangers and helped them the American League Championship. Swing and a miss. 0-2. How important are starts of games for Rick Porcello right now as he settles into a very nice rhythm, right?
I think for him early on, he needs to go to his entire repertoire, his fastball, curve, slider, change, mix them all in. And, of course, if he gets a few ground balls early, his confidence level really goes up.
The 0-2 pitch, broken bat. Don Kelly will gut him down. With that all the way out to second base. The runner advances to second base.
This is something that Rick has started to do. You see where Victor is. He's inside. He's starting to throw that sinker ball inside to the left-handed batters, and it looks good initially. And then it just runs in on their hands, and you saw him saw off a very good hitter there in Justin Smoke. But he is now using both sides of the plate this year with that sinker ball, and the numbers against left-handed batters are starting to creep down against Porcello. He has no problem with righties, but he has struggled with the left-handed bats in his career.
That'll bring up Jack Cust. It was basically the big free agent acquisition by the Mariners prior to this season, having had some success with the Oakland A's, stayed in the division. And he hasn't been the bat that they hoped that they were getting. outside with the first pitch from Porcello, and you see the defensive shift. Not a complete shift, not a Jim Thome or David Ortiz kind of shift, but enough that Johnny Peralta is near second base. The 1-0 pitch. That one is low. 2-0. On April 20th in Seattle, Rick Porcello faced the Mariners, and he was spectacular. Just a run allowed, 6 2/3 innings pitched. Looking for a little bit more of that success here today. That stays high, 3-0. But speaking of 3-0, he is 3-0 in his career against these Mariners. And Cust is a guy who has had some success against Rick. A 4-pitch walk for Jack Cust. Porcello may have known that Cust has some success against him and elected to stay away. And so 2 on with 2 out here in the top of the first inning. And that will bring up Carlos Peguero. First set of games in an 8-game homestand for the Tigers. Again, a reminder to squeeze that game against Tampa Bay into your schedule. They'll play the Rays tomorrow night here. A makeup from a rainout earlier this season. Peguero takes a strike. Carlos was the story here on Friday night with a homer and a triple.
He's got a lot of pop in his bat. Takes a big swing as well. And you saw Scherzer last night fool him with some real good breaking balls.
Let's go looking back, if we might. That against Brad Penny.
That ball got a little wind up there. There was a lot of wind blowing out to right field that night. Not to take anything away from Peguero, but that ball got up and it looked like it was going to be caught and just kind of carried over that 330 sign.
He leans out of that one. 1-2 now.
Porcello pitching very aggressively inside to the left-handed bats here in the first inning.
On Friday night, Brad Penny overall liked his performance, but he said he made 2 bad pitches, both to Carlos Peguero, and both ended up costing him in a game that the Mariners won. The 1-2 pitch. Ooh, Rick thought he had him.
Rick was headed to the dugout.
You will not see him barking at the home plate umpire very often, but that one drew one. With good reason, I'd say. I'm not sure Rick agrees with Fox Tracks on that occasion. The 2-2 pitch. Again, Peguero just sort of backing off a little bit, and the count runs full.
Rick Porcello in this pitch sequence to Peguero has thrown him 3 identical pitches just like that. And Chris Guccione, the home plate umpire, has not given him that strike.
Swing and a miss. And Martinez will throw down a first to complete the strikeout. And Rick Porcello has a half inning in the books. We are scoreless on a Sunday at Comerica. In today's game, bringing a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. You'll receive a free small order of curly fries. You can find a copy of the box score in your newspaper or on the Tigers page at foxsportsdetroit.com. Take a look at the Tigers batting order. It's presented by Big Boy, and it's largely the same lineup that we have seen last night. Jackson, Kelly, Bosch, Cabrera will be the cleanup hitter. Victor Martinez is catching today, followed by Dirks, Peralta, Avila, and Santiago, the second baseman. First pitch from Felix Hernandez to Austin Jackson, stays high. 1-0 to AJ.
Big win for the ball club yesterday against Michael Pineda, and knowing that you would have to see this guy today, Felix Hernandez.
Austin Jackson pounds one foul. 3 hits for Jackson in last night's game. One of 3 Tigers with 3 hits.
He's their catalyst. As he goes, so does the ball club.
Popped up short, right center field. Ichiro will take care of that. 1 up and 1 down for the Tigers. The Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report on starting pitcher Felix Hernandez. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you.
Well, King Felix has lights out stuff, overpowering in 4 pitches: the fastball, the slider, the curveball. Also a very good changeup. He'll change eye levels and arm slots as well. And he did win the Cy Young last year, and he earned it.
His major league debut was right here at Comerica Park. Don Kelly taking strike 1 from King Felix. Kelly batting .258. Filling the shoes nicely of Brandon Inge, who continues to battle his way back from mononucleosis.
Have you heard any word on Brandon?
I've not. You know, it's one of those things that it just involves rest, basically, and some antibiotics. Felix Hernandez 2-1 now on Don Kelly.
It's a good count to hit in if you can get yourself in this count against Felix.
Felix works fast. 3-1. And so that count for the batter just got a little rosier. Walked him. Don Kelly works a walk, and so the Tigers have a man aboard here in the top of the first inning.
Let's take a look at the Seattle Mariners defensively. It's always presented by Tim Hortons. Pagero, Gutierrez, Suzuki in the outfield. Figgins, Ryan, Wilson, Justin Smoke in the infield. And Miguel Olivo is back behind the plate. As a matter of fact, he's caught 3 of the 4 games this weekend.
Brennan Bosch will step in now. Bosch, another one of the Tiger bats coming alive last night and in this series. Ground ball to the second base. Another broken bat. There's one. Relay. Double play. And Hernandez, groundskeeper that he is, goes to retrieve the bat. We are through 1. Zip zip for the Tigers and the Mariners at Comerica. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by America Bank. Strength and stability since 1849. By Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or see your local Dodge dealer today. And by Arby's. Stop by today and try the new Shroom and Swiss sandwich. Arby's. It's good mood food. John Keating in for Mario Impemba on this Sunday afternoon as Brett Impemba celebrates his graduation from high school along with Rod Allen. First pitch of the second inning from Rick Porcello. Ball one. Remember your high school graduation?
I sure do.
I think the teachers at Bishop Foley High School were more delighted about my high school graduation. Swing and a miss. Just to get me the heck out of there. It goes by in a blink. The 1-1 pitch to Miguel Olivo.
Have you had a chance to get back to any of your reunions, though, like the 20-year, the 25-year? Have you gotten any of those?
I haven't. Maybe I'm afraid. The 1-2 pitch to Olivo inside, 2-2. Miguel has had an absolutely dreadful series. He'll be one of those anxious to get out of Detroit. The 2-2 pitch from Rick. Ground ball foul. Now I have great regard for those people, and you know we've connected through some of the online social networking things. Great to hook up again. Count runs full. Porcello also working quickly this afternoon. Great day for baseball. Temperature's about perfect. Another broken bat. Off the glove of Porcello. Got him. Rick went and got it and threw out the Mariners catcher. 1 up and 1 down.
It's a nice job here of not panicking by Porcello after he didn't field it cleanly. He ran over to get the ball, and if you notice, he was looking at the ball when picking it up. He didn't take a peek at that base runner like so many pitchers do. They take a peek at that base runner when they're trying to reach down and pick up the ball, and they mishandle it, and they don't get the out. It's a really nice look in Fox mode. What do you think of Fox mode, John?
It's spectacular. It's changed the game.
You don't get Fox mode on Tigers Live.
No, just see people blinking. Franklin Gutierrez is the batter.
Only on the big show.
Yeah. First pitch in there for a strike. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Franklin Gutierrez obviously is not performing the way that he is capable of performing. He had a stomach ailment that pretty much had him out the entire year. He's only played in 21 games. So basically, Franklin going through spring training right now, trying to get his swing down.
That one stays away. 1-2. They sent him all over the country trying to figure out what was bothering him. Finally, the Mayo Clinic determined that he had that particular stomach ailment. The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to Don Kelly. Scoops it up. 2 up and 2 down. Porcello settling in nicely.
Already 4 ground balls. That's his MO. And he pretty much has been a ground ball machine since coming to the major leagues. In 2009, Rick averages about 2 ground balls for every fly ball.
I got a chance to make a cameo appearance with you and Mario last night, and we were talking about the mystery that is Sean Figgins, who takes strike 1.
By the way, they say that that inning you spent with us, the
highest rated?
The ratings went through the roof.
We'll send people right to Hogan's Heroes, I'm afraid. Little flash of the bat at a bunt attempt, but that is off the plate. 1-1. Now it's fun. We have fun. No one has more fun than we do. Ground ball up the middle. Johnny Peralta. Another ground ball. Hey, a bat didn't break. presented by the Angus Third Pounder. Using your cell phone, text Tigers followed by his face and then the player's uniform number to 37338. See final results post-game during Tigers Live and check your text reply for a special offer from McDonald's. Chances are always pretty good that Miguel Cabrera might be that McDonald's player of the game. He takes the first pitch off the plate, ball one.
Two of the best players Venezuela has to offer right now, Felix Hernandez and Miguel Cabrera. If they both stay healthy, they will go down as the best hitter and best pitcher, respectively, from that country.
Yeah, that's fair. Omar Vizquel, you would say, would be the best player currently from Venezuela?
Well, I mean, obviously, Omar Vizquel has done some special things. From a table setter standpoint, there's been no one better than Vizquel. I mean, a guy with all those gold gloves. I think Vizquel will be a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. But when you start to think about guys like Cabrera, you think about Maglio, you think about Andres Galarraga, you think about Tony Armas.
Sure.
Some of the other guys like that swung big bats that are from Venezuela. But that's a great name in Omar Vizquel.
I got to know Andres Galarraga a little bit in my days in Colorado. El Gato Grande.
Both of these guys were non-drafted, signed at very young ages, 16.
Yeah. The 3-1 pitch. Cabrera works a walk. His countryman stays away just a little bit, so the leadoff man aboard here in the bottom of the second inning.
This Tigers lineup has some length to it, with Bosch doing what he's been able to do in that number 3 spot for the last 10 days. Obviously, you know what Cabrera brings to the dance every single night. Victor's been tremendous. You've got Peralta, Avila. They've got some length to this lineup these days.
Jim Leyland likes his group a lot, which is now a percentage point behind the Indians. A virtual tie for first place in the American League Central Division. Victor Martinez stands in. Ground ball foul. Martinez 3 for 4 to last night's game with a double and 2 RBIs. Jackson, Bosch, Martinez all with 3 hits apiece. He had a convincing 8-1 win for the Tigers last night.
Left-handed bats really showed up yesterday against Michael Pineda. And Jim had 6 of them in his lineup. I believe when Pineda left, he gave up 7 hits, 5 of which were the left-handed bats.
Another one spanked wide at first. There's Brennan. Said after the game he can't shave. He's thinking about shaving, but he can't shave.
Because he's going so well right now.
Exactly. You know, you get a few knocks. You do not want to taunt the baseball gods. Hernandez ahead of Martinez, 0-2. Takes it the other way. And that is hauled in by Figueroa.
Hey, fans, don't miss your chance to see the showdown against the Cleveland Indians this Tuesday through Thursday. At night games for the first 2, followed by a 1:05 matinee on Thursday. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or log on to tigers.com. Well, that Cleveland Indians team, the wheels fell off in a hurry.
As the Tigers are winning 10 of 13, the Indians were losing 9 of 12. And that has propelled the Tigers into a first-place tie. Dirks lays down a bunt, and it is a beauty, and he beats it out.
That's a poor decision by King Felix. Poor decision. He's not going to get the out at second base, but he gets the out at first base if he simply comes up and throws to first base. I don't know why he looked to second base on that particular play, but it cost him, and hopefully the Tigers can make him pay for his mental mistake.
So Cabrera hustling down to second. 2 on for the Tigers with 1 out here in the second. Detroit 6 for 23 with runners in scoring position in this series. They were 5 for 10 in last night's game. And Johnny Peralta steps in. He had a 2-run bomb in last night's game. The first pitch from Hernandez. Bends over for a strike.
Johnny Peralta has performed much better than I ever remember him performing in a Cleveland Indians uniform. I didn't realize Johnny was as good as he is.
Sometimes just finding your way to a new home helps. The 0-1 pitch becomes 0-2. I think the Indians had kind of soured on Johnny, and to a degree he on them, as they had shuffled him from shortstop to third base. And when the Tigers got him, they made him a shortstop again. And he has flourished since then. Hernandez ahead 0-2. Just off the inside corner.
Johnny got himself in terrific shape in the offseason. He told me he hired a personal trainer. He worked out with him 4 or 5 times a week, got his legs in shape. He worked on his midsection, his abs, his back, his core. A lot of the things that the players are working on these days, and it's been good for him.
2-2.
You know, a lot of people like to complain about the fact that he doesn't have terrific range at shortstop. That's okay. He catches whatever he gets to.
Make the plays. Yeah.
I mean, when you have guys like Ramirez in Chicago with already 9 errors, and you have Andrews in Texas with 11 errors, those are athletic players. They're making lots of mistakes. Let's take a look at that bunt play here. Olivo, the catcher, take a look at him. As soon as this ball went down, he was pointing toward first base. He was telling him what to do with the baseball, but apparently Felix wasn't paying attention to him.
And even when you can throw it close to 100 miles an hour, not much chance to get Andy Dirks there. The 2-2 pitch inside. Full count on Johnny Peralta.
Well, first big decision of the day for Jim Leland. It's 3-2. It's 1 out. Do you dare send him? I would say no with Avila standing in that on-deck circle, because if he strikes out, he would throw Cabrera out. We'll see, though.
Ground ball foul.
They stayed put. You know, there are some managers in the major leagues that will run every single time 3-2 just to stay out of the double play. You put pressure on the hitter. This is the big leagues. You want them to put the ball in play. But then there are some matchups, Keats, where it's just not all that wise to do so, and this would be one of those.
And Avila's going that well. One more time, swing and a miss.
That's why.
Johnny goes down swinging. 2 outs now for Alex Avila. That battle to King Felix. Alex 3 for his last 8 at bats. 1 for 3 with a walk in last night's game. 292 for the season. That is the best batting average among American League catchers. Two on, 2 out. First pitch off the plate, ball 1. I was chatting with Alex yesterday about his facial hair. He said he can shave and there'll be a 5 o'clock shadow right afterward. He'll go full beard, then he'll go goatee, and some of that is attached to the same thing we were talking about with Bosch. If you're going well, you got to leave it alone.
Can you grow a full beard yourself?
No. You know, and I'm comfortable enough in my masculinity to admit that, I'd say.
I can't grow one either.
I had a big cheesy mustache for the longest time. It was awful. I mean, I had friends. Why didn't somebody tell me that looks awful? Take that thing off. Nobody did.
No one would tell you?
No one told me. And when I shaved it, I thought it was the worst mistake I'd ever made. There have been bigger ones than that, I can promise you that. 1-1 on Alex Avila. He can grow a beard. It looks good doing so.
Alex just looks good in the batter's box right now. Just looks very confident.
You were talking about Rick Porcello and how important this season was, because we weren't sure what we were going to get from Rick. You know, the same might be said about Alex.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
He is really, really blossoming.
When you talk about 1 year to the next, he's an all-star this year.
Yeah, has to be.
Good pitch. That's one of the things that makes guys like Verlander and King Felix so great. Is yes, they have fastballs that get up to 100 miles an hour, but they have those other pitches that they can throw for strikes whenever they want to throw those pitches for strikes. And they're fearless with their secondary pitches. Two of the best right-handers in the game, bar none.
Uncle Charlie bent it over, and so it's now 2-2. Fouled back.
As a matter of fact, I was talking to one of my good friends here at the ballpark, and he, I used to work with him in the Florida Marlins organization. He's a scout now, and he studies pitchers, and he's worked with pitchers. He's been a big league pitching coach. He said if he was choosing a team tomorrow, he said Hernandez would be his first pick, Verlander his second pick.
Wow. In 2009, they tied for the American League lead in victories. Did Felix and Verlander with 19. And the following season, Hernandez won the American League Cy Young Award.
Verlander will win one of those before it's all said and done, and it may be this year.
Might be this year. The 2-2 pitch. Inside. 3-2. Well, Hernandez's pitch count is getting up a little bit.
And this is the count that I'm talking about. It's 3-2 now. And 95% of the guys in the big leagues, as a hitter right now, you'd be getting a fastball. And you know you'd be getting a fastball. But with a guy like Hernandez, you don't quite know that.
Makes you angry, doesn't it?
Well, it just makes you wait that split second longer. And if he does happen to throw you that piece of cheese at 95, he can throw it right by you.
Let's find out. Fastball is fouled away.
See, there's just that split second of indecisiveness that you have to wait as a hitter with 2 strikes.
24 pitches thrown by Felix Hernandez here in the second inning.
He hasn't been all that efficient so far today. He's missed the strike zone with quite a few of the pitches that he's already thrown.
17 strikes, 15 balls. One more time. Full count offering. Straight up the middle. Here comes Cabrera. He will score. Dirks moves over to third. An RBI single. And the Tigers are on the board.
That's why you don't send the runners when Johnny Peralta was sitting in a 3-2 count. Runners on first and second. Jim didn't want to run the risk of a strike him out and throwing him out because he knew he had Alex coming up behind Peralta. In the way that Alex has been swinging the bat, it worked out well for the Tigers.
Alex Avila with his 34th RBI of the season. And that gives him the American League in runs batted in among catchers. Here's Ramon Santiago. Foul pop back out of play. Ramon had his young son Raymond on the field earlier today. Family day for the ball players here at the ballpark.
That's always a great day for the kids.
Yeah.
They get to come to work with Dad, put the uniform on, and get on the field and run around the bases.
And the Santiagos are expecting their second.
What a fine young man.
Life will get busier for Ramon here shortly. Runner goes, and it is fouled right at home plate. And Avila will retreat. Alex having a bit of a conversation with Brandon Ryan. The 1-2 pitch laid off by Santiago. The appeal to third ruled a ball.
Really good pitchers like Hernandez, if they give you a little bit of an opening early in a game to take advantage of their wildness, you have to do so, because he's going to settle in. A big 2-out knock here would be lovely by Santiago if he could accomplish that.
Runner goes. Olivo decides not to throw down, so Avila will take second. stolen base puts runners at second and third with 2 outs.
Avila will not steal many bases, but he got the call, the sign from Jim Leland, because Hernandez basically had forgotten all about him, and now he finds himself in scoring position.
3 straight Tiger batters have taken Felix Hernandez to a full count. Swing and a miss. Hernandez ends the uprising, but the Tigers get on the board. 1-0 Detroit after 2 innings of play. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire.
Youngsters running around the ballpark today. It is Kids Day. It's every Sunday, and I've made some new friends. Emily, May, and we have Ruby behind me, and they have their face painted because that's what you get to do when it's Kids Day. It's free. How's your day been so far? You having fun?
I'm having a lot of fun, and I love the Tigers.
I love the Tigers, too. And May, what has been the best part of your day? I understand you got to go on a ride earlier today.
The merry-go-round.
You went on the merry-go-round. The merry-go-round and the Ferris wheel are free for the kids today, and the kids also get to run the bases after the game is over. So a lot of fun family events here at Comerica Park. John and Rod, I'll send it back up to you.
Shannon, when we see you next, we expect that your face will be fully painted as well. You can make that happen in the next few innings, can't you? She's not talking.
No, I don't think she is going to do that for you today, John.
Jack Wilson, the batter. First 2 pitches are a ball and a strike. 1-1 on Jack Wilson. Remember Perry Hill was the infield coach for the Tigers?
Yes, I do.
He loves Jack Wilson. Had him in Pittsburgh when they were there together. Ground ball to the shortstop. Peralta will throw him out.
Perry Hill has always been known as a tremendous infield instructor.
Yeah.
He spent some time in Montreal. He spent some time in Pittsburgh. He spent some time with the Florida Marlins. He's always had middle infielders playing their best baseball.
When the Pirates traded away Jack Wilson, for Perry, that was the final straw. He said, done. Uncle. We're not going to compete with a guy like Jack Wilson. And Perry ended up leaving the organization. That's how much regard he had for Jack Wilson, who has found a home in Seattle. Ichiro will stand in. Grounded out to the second baseman in his first at bat. And the struggles for the I-man continue.
His manager, Eric Wedge, gave him a mental day off a couple of days ago, and he came back in yesterday's game and got a couple of hits. Performed well yesterday. He's about 60 points under his career batting average right now, is Suzuki.
Little looper in the infield, and Santiago will take it. And more struggles for Ichiro. Send back to the Call Sam Studios. Here's Ryan Field. All right, we're in mid-June here, but already we're doing some scoreboard watching as the Tigers have elbowed their way to the top of the division with the Cleveland Indians. And Ryan steps in.
Good breaking ball there from Porcello. You don't want to get in the habit of always throwing the fastball on the very first pitch. other teams will pick up on that. So he threw the slider there at 83. And he had Ryan fooled, and he swung right over the top of it.
Ryan with the only hit that the Mariners have mustered. Now their second time through the lineup against Porcello. He's ahead 0-2. Got him. Caught him looking. Brendan Ryan, have a seat. Rick Porcello begins to motor through the Mariners lineup, and the Tigers have a 1-0 lead. Brought to you by AT&T and by Milo's Kitchen Homestyle Dog Treats. The best treats come from the kitchen. Bottom of the third inning. First pitch from Felix Hernandez to Austin Jackson as the Tigers return to the top of their lineup. Jackson popped out to Ichiro in the first inning. Fouls that one back. 1-1 to the Tigers' leadoff hitter. Batting average is back in a northerly direction to 247. 3 for 11 in the series. Shot to the gap. Peguero looking up off the top of the fence. Jackson going for 3. And there will be no throw.
I don't know if they're going to score that a double and an error on Peguero or if they're going to give him a triple, but it's a hanging breaking ball from Felix Hernandez, and Jackson drilled it right off the top of the gate. Peguero gets over, he reaches down, he picks it up, he drops it, and then Jackson restarted his engine and was able to get to third base.
Sort of a weird route that Peguero took to the ball. I think he believed that it might have been gone. Don Kelly sends one to the first baseman, and Jackson is not able to score. Hernandez covers. Smoke to Hernandez. Retires Kelly. And Austin Jackson remains at third.
It'll be interesting to see exactly what Eric Wedge does here defensively with Brennan Bosch coming to the plate with a runner on third and just 1 out.
Nicely handled by Smoke at first.
Robbie Thompson is directing the traffic for Eric Wedge. Former San Francisco Giants second baseman, and a good one. They're playing about halfway depth in the infield. They're going to make Jackson make a decision on whether he's coming home or not. Jackson, with his speed, I'd be shocked if he's not coming home on contact.
But Bosch bounced into a 6-4-3 double play to end the first inning. Takes strike one. Fly ball. Center field. Jackson will tag. He'll bluff and he'll stay. Not deep enough in the glove of Franklin Gutierrez. The aerial coverage today is brought to you by DirecTV. To get the most baseball games in HD, call 1-800-DirecTV.
If you're scoring at home, that ruling on the Jackson ball that was hit off the wall in left field was scored a double and an error on Peguero in left field, which allowed Jackson to go to third.
So they get the leadoff man to third, but they can't get him in, at least not yet. Miguel Cabrera is always an option to do so. He takes ball one.
It kind of looks like Hernandez not really giving Miguel a whole lot to hit, at least so far in this game. He walked him his first time up, and I don't think Cabrera swung in the bat.
In fact, it was a 4-pitch walk, and Cabrera ended up being the game's only run.
Well, it just kind of gives you an idea of the respect factor that some pitching coaches and pitchers have for Miguel. Even with a guy like Victor Martinez hitting behind him, who's hitting 300 and hits from both sides of the dish.
3-0. So would this be your intentional, unintentional?
That would be one of those, John.
Runner at third. 2 outs for the Tigers in the bottom of the third. Another 4-pitch walk sends Cabrera back to first. So 31 pitches in the last half inning for Felix Hernandez, tying the most this season for King Felix. He's now at an even 50. 2 2/3 in to his start against the Tigers this afternoon. And Victor Martinez, with that .364 average with runners in scoring position, steps in with 2 mates aboard.
Well, one of the reasons why Hernandez is pitching around Cabrera is Cabrera's hitting .471 against him. 8 for 17. I guess I wouldn't pitch to him either.
Pitchers are like elephants. Long memories.
He is 8 for 17 against one of the best pitchers in the game of baseball.
He might not see a strike today. Martinez 0-1. Curveball in there for a strike. 0-2.
Victor didn't like it.
Chris Guccione did. The ultimate authority.
Oliva wants to fastball up here.
Got it. Martinez fouled it back. So it stays 0-2.
If you're Jackson on third base, you have to be ready for a wild pitch that has to be in the back of your mind. If he does bounce one, you have to make sure you get a pretty good break off third base, which would allow you to score.
Tigers looking to add to a 1-run lead against the Mariners, having taken 2 of the first 3 from Seattle. That one stays low.
When you get King Felix in situations where there's a runner on third base with no one out, you have to plate those runs.
It was August 4th of 2005 that Felix Hernandez made his major league debut here at Comerica Park.
Just 19 years old then.
Just a kid.
25 years old now. And a force.
You're going to love some of the names that dotted the Tigers lineup that day. We'll get to that. The 1-2 pitch. Over the head of the shortstop. Victor Martinez picks up his teammates against Felix Hernandez.
That's what makes Victor so special. Even though it was very clear to him that Hernandez was pitching around Cabrera, there's no panic, there's no sense of urgency. They're simply waiting for one good pitch to hit. He got it and he didn't miss it, and he drove in a huge run there with 2 outs.
We're getting a chance to see how well and how much Victor Martinez uses the entire field. And his first opposite field homer the other day. Andy Dirk steps in.
Both of the runs the Tigers have scored today have come on singles, one by Martinez, one by Avila, with 2 outs.
Dirks with that bunt single in the last half inning. Ground ball wide of first. Andy at 237. Tigers will have some interesting roster decisions to make. Jim Leyland announcing that we think that Magglio Ordonez will rejoin the Tigers in time for tomorrow's game against Tampa Bay. Someone obviously will have to go. The 0-2 pitch to Dirks. Swing and a miss. They got him. Tigers had another run. They double their lead. 2-0 Detroit against King Felix and the Mariners. Blimp is giving spectacular vistas of downtown Detroit on a day in which the sun is trying to pop through. But it is a very, very pleasant day. And to see Victor Martinez behind the plate. Jim Leyland saying earlier today that it's 3 hours that he can't get a breath, having Martinez be behind the plate, be his catcher, and Alex Avila the DH, because if, God forbid, anything happens to Victor, then Avila would shift to catcher, and then the Tigers would lose their designated hitter, and that would put the pitcher batting right behind Miguel Cabrera in the Tigers lineup. But he wants to get Victor behind the plate and give Alex somewhat of a day off. A little pop up in front of the Tigers dugout, and neither Victor nor Don Kelly could get there.
Well, those are some of the things that are created by just having 2 catchers on your roster, and you play both of them. Most teams that have 2 catchers, they don't play both of them. One usually sits. He's the backup. He gets his reps once a week. But these 2 are swinging the bat very well, and Jim pretty much has to have them both in his starting lineup every day.
Rick Porcello has retired 7 straight Mariners. Justin Smoke in. Take that one inside. 1-1 to the Mariners first baseman. Swing and a miss. 6 of the outs that Porcello has recorded have been of the ground ball variety. That's a perfect Porcello day. Swing and a miss. Did not need the grounder there. Took care of it all by his lonesome. 1 up and 1 down for the Mariners here in the top of the 4th inning. And this July, baseball's biggest stars will gather together in the Arizona desert for one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event, as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th, live from Phoenix at 8 p.m. Eastern on your local Fox station. Jack Cust will step in. He worked for Porcello for a walk in the 1st inning. One of 2 base runners that Rick has allowed in this game. Off the corner, 1-1. That stays low. 2-1. Kind of bounced in and out of the A's lineup. They kept him. They let him go. They re-signed him. And the Mariners signed him last December. His dad built batting cages on the East Coast where the Cust family lives. Foul back.
Jack Cust, former #1 draft choice of the Arizona Diamondbacks in 1997. And the one thing that Cust has always had, he's always had huge power. Wherever he has been, it is translated into a lot of power hitting, but not so much this year in a Seattle Mariners uniform.
That stays high. To the batting cages, the Jack Cust Academy boasts the largest amateur sports dome in the country, 65 acres. Wow. Full count.
He works
down the left field line.
He works there in the offseason too.
Well, he got a $2.5 million one-year deal. I don't think he works really hard there.
Well, when you got your own place and you have places like that, you have to be there. It's all about credibility.
You got to be there. Full count on Cust. Another one down the left field line. Again, that's foul. That will find the seats as well. Bring your glove to the ballpark. It'll come in handy. This will be the 9th pitch in the battle between Porcello and Jack Cust.
Johnny Peralta on the other side of second base right now with nobody on base while Cust is batting.
Got him. And Cust thought he had another walk. 2 up and 2 down, both strikeouts for Porcello.
I really like what Rick has done with his fastball here today. Several of the Mariners are looking at the bottom of the strike zone because they're looking for that sinker. But he's thrown quite a few up around the lettering, and he's gotten some swing and misses and some takes with that elevated fastball.
3 consecutive strikeouts for Porcello. Kind of like the king in his court. I got it. Guys, just relax out there. I got it. Carlos Peguero steps in. A strikeout victim back in the 1st inning to end the 1st inning. Tigers 35-29. They are 23-12 in their last 35 games. 1-1 pitch. Nicely picked by Cabrera at first. He'll handle it himself. And Porcello, another 3-up, 3-down inning. 2-0 as we head to the last of the 4th. Felix Hernandez getting set to take on the Tigers. The 2001 A's were the last AL team with 5 starters with sub-4 ERA. Name the starters. It's our AT&T trivia question. And we tell you that, or we ask you that, for a reason.
They said name the starters?
Name the starters.
Wow.
Because you see that the Mariners starting rotation all under 4.
The Mariners are the only team in Major League Baseball that have an entire 5-man rotation with sub-4 ERAs. They can pitch.
Johnny Peralta, strikeout victim in the second, down 0-2 to Hernandez. It's inside, 1-2. Two and 2. And it's a good thing they can pitch because run scoring is an issue for Eric Wedge and the Mariners.
A couple of power pitchers in Pineda and Hernandez, and some touch and field guys in Pfister, Bedard, and Vargas.
That's fouled back.
They play in a pitcher-friendly ballpark, Safeco Field. It's big, it's spacious. Very good ballpark to pitch in. Just like Comerica Park.
Felix gets the choice that he wants. And that ball's hammered just outside of third base. We mentioned his major league debut for Felix Hernandez was here at Comerica Park in 2005. In the Tigers lineup that day, Polanco, Guillen, Shelton, Maglio, Dimitri Young, Pudge, Craig Monroe, Brandon Inge, and Nook Logan.
That's a pretty good lineup.
I thought for all the world that Nook Logan was going to be a keeper.
He could fly.
Yeah, he sure could.
He could fly.
We're still at a loss to figure out what happened to Chris Shelton. Sean Douglas was the starting pitcher for the Tigers that day.
Who?
Yeah, I know. I know. Peralta goes down on strikes. 1 up and 1 down.
He's been filthy on Peralta. It's a breaking ball inside. When you see the breaking ball come out of the pitcher's hand as a hitter, you're looking for that ball to kind of fade away from you, but that one kind of hung up and stayed right inside on that inside corner, and Peralta couldn't pull the trigger.
He's still a little despondent. Alex Avila taps that one foul. Alex with an RBI single to get the Tigers going in the second inning. Inching in the direction of 300.
I saw you in an interview with Avila about a week ago, and you were talking about how he gets his legs back underneath him after a night game by standing in an ice
baths.
Yeah.
Well, he says he learned that at the University of Alabama, where it is just miserable hot. And it allowed him to sort of
re-energize
get
himself.
going. Yeah. Get going, get the legs back.
I always thought football players did that a lot. Don't know many baseball players that do that.
Take some courage to get in.
And then stay there.
And then, yeah, and then it hurts when you're in there, but it helps in the recovery process.
Good for him. It's working for him, too. He's all smiles these days.
1-2 in this at-bat against Felix Hernandez. Tigers with a run in the second, another one in the third. Hernandez trying to get him to go fishing. The boyhood idol of Felix Hernandez was Freddie Garcia, fellow Venezuelan. Fouled right at home plate. And that is why Felix wears number 34. Garcia was a Tiger for a minute. And one of his stops along the way. Most of his success as a Seattle Mariner. But he was Felix's guy. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. You know, much like Michael Pineda did last night, a little bit of a rough start, but now the Mariners starting pitcher is sort of grinding a little bit and doing very, very well.
Settling in.
There's Michael Pineda. He looked kind of baffled last night because he's had so much success in this his rookie season. When the Tigers got to him.
Yeah, they roughed him up. He really only has 2 pitches, fastball, slider. He does throw a changeup, but he doesn't throw it that often. So the Tigers, they usually do not have problems with guys that just throw hard. The guys they have some difficulty with are kind of the cunny thumber kind of guys, the guys that add and subtract on everything they've thrown. They don't really have power fastballs, but if you throw hard and then you have a hard slider and not much of a secondary off-speed pitch, the Tigers don't have problems with those guys.
A cunny thumber, you said?
Yeah, cunny thumber.
2-1 on Ramon Santiago, becomes 3-1.
Tigers are doing exactly as they set out to do here today against Felix, and that's to drive the pitch counter and somehow get him out of the game by the 5th or 6th inning, and then go to work on their bullpen.
Looper served into left field, and that will find some gap, and Santiago's trying to take advantage. The throw from Gutierrez late. Ramon races his way to a double, and the Tigers have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs here in the 4th.
Doubles are made out of the batter's box, and Gutierrez had to go a long way to get to that ball. He circled it. Santiago recognized that. He gambled. He took off, and he made it safely to second base with a slide. He also got some help from Tom Brookins, first base coach. He was directing the traffic for Santiago.
Back to the top of the order, and Austin Jackson steps in. Ground ball. Shortstop. Off the bag, but there's enough Justin Smoke to hang on to it, and Jackson is retired, as are the Tigers. So they can't take advantage of the Santiago double. 2-0 Detroit. AT&T trivia question. The 0-1 A's were the last American League team with 5 starters with sub-4 ERAs. Name for the starters. They had the big 3 back then. How many of these names did you have, Mr. Allen?
The big 3.
Of course, there was Mulder and Hudson, Barry Zito, Corey Lytle, and Eric Hilgess. All under 4. And the Mariners right now in that same part of the Fun Ballpark. Miguel Olivo stands in against Rick Porcello.
Meanwhile, Porcello is just deep. Good 2-seam fastballs at the bottom of the strike zone. He's working on both sides of the plate. He's got some really good movement. An occasional breaking ball, whether it be the slider or the curve. And he's also throwing that fastball up in the strike zone today at about 92 miles an hour. That's changing the eye level of some of these Seattle Mariners hitters.
10 straight of them have been retired by the Tigers' third-year right-hander. Miguel Olivo grounded out back to the pitcher in the second inning. A very nice play off the glove of Porcello, who went and found it and had enough presence of mind and time to throw him out. One and two. Miguel Olivo, a distant cousin of Yankees coach Tony Pena. They're actually nephew and uncle, but distant enough that they're considered cousins. The 1-2 pitch. Off the plate, 2-2. Olivo, former White Sox catcher, had some time in Kansas City as well. Foul straight back. This Mariners team right now a game over 500. Keep this in mind. This is a group that last year lost 101 games. And the ownership has sort of turned up the heat on Eric Wedge and company to get some results. 2-2 pitch, hammered to the left field. Gone. Dirks just turned and watched it sail out, and the Mariners are on the board. Miguel Olivo, his 9th homer of the season.
Well, if you want to give him up, you want to give up solo shots. That was an 83-mile-per-hour breaking ball that just kind of stayed up there long enough for Olivo to drill. And I mean, he drilled it. That breaking ball didn't do a whole lot.
And Rick knew it right away, as did Andy Dirks and the people in the first 3 rows there beyond the Tiger bullpen. So a 2-0 Tigers lead becomes 2-1. We play here in the top of the 5th inning. Pop up. Short right field. Brennan Bosch will take care of that. With that home run by Olivo, another $15,000 has been raised to support prostate cancer research. To make a donation, call 800-798-CURE or go online to pcf.org. So there is goodness even in home runs hit by the opposing teams on particular days, and we near Father's Day and our annual push to end prostate cancer in our country, in this world.
What do they say the age of you should start getting your prostate checked? About 45 years old?
Yeah, 45. I've told many people this on the air over the years. My dad is one of those who was affected by it and cured from it. And some of that through the work that is done by Major League Baseball and Fox this time of year.
They say African American men are 3 times likely to get that disease than Caucasian men.
Did not know that.
So African American men, they need to start getting checked at about age 40 and get checked a little bit more frequently.
Franklin Gutierrez against Rick Porcello. Check that. Sean Figgins at the plate. Gutierrez with the fly out to Brendan Bosch. Figgins takes that one right in there for a strike. Full count now to the Mariners' third baseman. Tigers with runs in the 2nd and 3rd. Mariners have answered here in the 5th. Foul back.
Nice crowd downtown Detroit today. Sunday afternoon ball game.
It was loopy here last night. Huge Taylor Swift concert at Ford Field.
A lot of folks down.
38,000 and change here at Comerica. 3-2 pitch, and Figgins works a walk. Jim Leland is not a guy who's prone to exaggeration, but he had a moment, or a few moments last night, where he just sort of took it all in and said it was great atmosphere. He said you can't touch this, you can't buy it, it just happens. And he's embracing the atmosphere that is not just around his ball club, but on a night like last night when downtown Detroit was hopping.
Absolutely.
And the hope is many more of those days are in our future.
Figgins has 7 steals. However, he's been caught 6 times. But he has tremendous speed, and he's a very good base runner.
Jack Wilson now against Rick Porcello. Grounded out to the shortstop back in the 3rd inning. Victor Martinez wants to make sure that things don't begin to slide away a little bit from Rick.
Well, I think Victor kind of sensed on that first delivery to Wilson that Porcello rushed. And the reason why he rushed is because Figgins is standing over at first base, and he knows that he has to give Victor enough time to throw him out. But what Victor would simply go out and say in a situation like this, being a veteran that he is say, you just do the best that you can to keep him close and get the ball to me. And if he steals the base, that's okay. But we have to concentrate on this guy that's standing in the batter's box.
The pitcher's head can be a busy place. 1-0 against the Mariners second baseman Jack Wilson. In for a strike.
You may see Eric Wedge just put the runner in motion anyway and kind of force Wilson into swinging the bat, because Porcello has thrown so many ground balls in this game already, and he would love to stay out of a double play. That would be Eric Wedge.
Ground ball. Foul. Jack Wilson was a kid who grew up playing soccer and said if there was any money in soccer, at least back then, he might have stuck with that. But turned out he's had a very nice baseball career. Stops in Pittsburgh and now in Seattle.
Kind of explains why Jack, when he was younger, had such great feet at the shortstop position, now playing second.
The 1-2 pitch stays away. 2-2.
There's something said for playing a couple of sports when you're young. If you play soccer, obviously your endurance is going to be good. Your footwork is going to be good. Football teaches you to be tough. Basketball, there's some athleticism to be learned there, of course.
He was a forward at Thousand Oaks High School in California. As a junior, broke the school record set by Kurt Stillwell. Runner goes. Throw down from Martinez. Figgins, they had him. They had him, but the ball squirted away from Santiago. And so Figgins, with a stolen base, stands at second with 1 out here in the 5th inning.
Outstanding throw by Victor Martinez. Really good footwork. And you're absolutely right. Had Santiago caught that ball and applied the tag to Figgins, I believe Mike Winters, the second base umpire, would have called him out. What a throw by Victor.
Full count now on Wilson. Ground ball. Don Kelly will look the runner back and fire across. 2 down. This is one of Porcello's strengths, bearing down with runners in scoring position. And he's going to get a visit from pitching coach Rick Knapp right here, right now.
Well, even though Ichiro Suzuki is struggling, he's still a threat. And you have Brendan Ryan, who is the right-handed bat, batting .254 in the on-deck circle. You don't necessarily have to pitch to Ichiro in this situation.
Hey, when the game ends, our coverage continues with Tigers Live as we bring you all the highlights, reaction, and analysis. Tigers Live from the Call Sam Studios and here at the ballpark immediately after the game on Fox Sports Detroit. Trevor Thompson handling the post-game interviewing duties. Ryan Field hosting back in the studios. Rod and I will stop by as well. Get our best wishes to the Impemba family.
Absolutely.
as Brett Impemba celebrates his high school graduation with Mario and Kathy and the rest of the clan. Ball 1 to Ichiro. John Keating with Rod Allen. Thanks for being so hospitable.
You having a good time?
So far?
You ought to be.
Ask me again in the 7th. Of course, if the Tigers win, I expect that I'll be doing the game tomorrow as well. Can't break that up, can you?
You're not going to keep Mario away from him 2 days in a row. You're not going to do that.
He'll lose his mind.
You're not going to do that. 2 days in a row, no shot.
Not a chance. Not a chance. We'll welcome him back. 2-0 on Ichiro. Taken all the way. In for a strike. No, I'll slide back to my pregame duties where life is a little more simple. Marcelo trying to wiggle out of a little bit of a jam here in the middle of the series finale. Ichiro takes it down the left field line, and that will tie the game.
Porcello did what he shouldn't have done. He shouldn't have given Ichiro Suzuki a good pitch to hit. You got the base open. You got the 2 outs. I know he's struggling, but you don't mess with these kind of guys. Suzuki's going to the Hall of Fame.
Too much of the plate?
Yes.
Just beyond the outstretched glove of Don Kelly. Rick has thrown 25 pitches.
And Ichiro will be looking to steal second base too.
Brendan Ryan steps in. He had an infield single and then struck out, and it looks like he's got another infield single right here. Now Porcello's going to have to sort of settle down and regroup a little bit here.
You know, there's some people at home that may be thinking to themselves, well, why would you bunt with 2 outs just to get a runner in the scoring position? Well, the reason why is because Justin Smoke is coming to the dish, and he's got a dangerous bat. He's got 11 home runs, and he's got a better chance of driving that run in than Ryan does. That's a good play by Ryan.
Smoke so far today grounded out to the third baseman and struck out. Batting here in the 5th with 2 mates aboard.
And this by far has been the most stressful inning for Porcello.
A little pop fly down the left field line out of the reach of Don Kelly. Rick had one of these in his start against Texas. He just sort of willed his way through it. I think every major league starter has a stretch in every game where you just have to sort of meander your way through some trouble. The 0-1 pitch. Fly ball. Short left field. And that falls in for a base hit.
Really?
Right in between Peralta and Dirks and Jackson. Ichiro scores. And a bloop single gives the Mariners the lead. That looked for all the world as if it would hold up for a Tiger to get there.
Well, Jackson wasn't going to make the play, so it was between Dirks and also Johnny Peralta that had the best opportunity to do so, and neither able to get there.
So the Mariners have put a 3 spot on the board, and they still have runners at the corners for their cleanup hitter, Jack Cust. Remember, this is a guy who has had success against Rick Porcello. Walked in the 1st, struck out in the 4th. Tapped foul at home plate. Cust, the 8th Mariner to bat in this inning. And the festiveness has left some of this big crowd here at Comerica Park on a Sunday. The 1-1 pitch from Rick. Off the inside corner. 2-1. From high above Comerica Park. Runner at third, runner at first. Cust at the plate, taking 3-1. And the struggles in this half inning continue for the Tigers starter Rick Porcello. Adam Wilk getting loose. The young lefty out of the Tigers bullpen. Swing and a miss. It has been a game of full counts in both directions today. The full count will allow Smoke to leave early from first. Foul back. Tigers entered the day in a virtual tie with the Cleveland Indians at the top of the American League Central Division. A solo percentage point back of Cleveland. And the Indians will come in for games Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday here at Comerica. Yankees lead 1-0 in the top of the fifth over the Indians. A 3-2 pitch. Cust takes a walk. And the bases are loaded against Rick Porcello, who has seen the wheels fall off to a degree. The Mariners have batted around. And that will bring up Carlos Peguero. Two outs. Last of the fifth inning, bases juiced. Another little looper. Can Kelly get there? He can and does. That is a big play. Don Kelly racing into left field to snag that one with the bases full. It's a 3-2 Mariners lead. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tires.
Rod, I know you didn't think I'd do it, but I did get my face painted. It is Kids Day, and part of being a kid, you get this new Max Scherzer bobblehead. Bo Hall is here. Now I want to know, you're disappointed you didn't get a bobblehead, but what do you think about it? Did they do a pretty good job?
The bobblehead looks great. Blue eye, brown eye. He's really cool. I told him I was 14, but it didn't work. I couldn't get it.
Tough luck. We'll see if we can find you one, maybe. All right. John and Rod, I'll send it back to you.
Shannon, great stuff, and well done on the face painting. That a girl?
You didn't think I would, but I was going to go do it.
That a Pepper?
She's all in.
Todd Kelly leading off the bottom of the 5th for the Tigers as they find themselves on the wrong end of a 3-2 game, and Kelly skies one to left field, and there is Carlos Peguero, 1 up and 1 down for the Tigers. So a long half inning for Rick Porcello and Detroit. The Mariners bat around. They score 3 times, and they have a 3-2 lead. Brendan Bosch will step in, trying to affect that to some degree. What a day for baseball.
What a day for anything out there. You gonna fire up your grill when you get home today?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We haven't had the greatest weather here in southeastern Michigan. Not long stretches of goodness, really. And so hopefully this is the beginning of a good long stretch. Bosch with a tapper to the second baseman, and Ryan will flip it from the glove hand. And Bosch is retired. 2 up and 2 down. Jack Wilson playing second base. He's a gamer. One of those guys that rub a little dirt in it. Nice glove flip to retire Bosch. And here comes Miguel Cabrera. He's walked twice. Now stands in with the bases empty and promptly rips a base hit into center field.
That's why he doesn't pitch to him. Cabrera's hitting 500 against him, and that look that King Felix gave Cabrera is one of those looks like, that's why I don't pitch to you.
That was the 9th pitch from Hernandez to Cabrera today. That was the first one that was in the general vicinity of the plate, and Cabrera ripped it to center for a knock.
The first swing Cabrera has taken today.
A pair of 4-pitch walks prior to that at bat. So the Tigers have a man aboard. And Victor Martinez.
Tigers are going to have to grind the remainder of the way if they're going to win this game today. And Felix is starting to settle in. He's already given up 2 runs. He gave those up early. Tigers squandered a few chances. Now they've got to grind here the rest of the way.
And conversely, Rick Porcello now at 94 pitches for his start after a lengthy half inning. So this one might come down to the Tigers bullpen.
Bullpen's been outstanding lately for Detroit, and it's at full strength too.
In fact, the Tigers bullpen in their last 19 games an ERA of 2.17.
That's really good.
Hey, we got some sunshine here. The day just got a little bit brighter. See if it does so for Rick Porcello, if his team can give him back the lead. 2-0 to Martinez. 3-0 with Andy Dirks on deck. Jim Leyland singing the praises of Victor Martinez prior to today's game. How valuable he's been to them. Taking all the way, 3-1. He said, I pretty much had to catch him. I couldn't catch Avila again. He said he'd be hitting underwater with Alex in August if I don't give him some chances to only be the DH. So Martinez behind the plate, and he works a walk.
Here's a reminder about tomorrow's makeup game against the Tampa Bay Rays here at Comerica Park. Game time is 7:05. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or log on to tigers.com.
Tigers with 3 of those games to be made up thanks to Mother Nature, and it's Phil Koch who will get the ball for the Tigers tomorrow against the Rays. And then 3 against the Indians. And then the Tigers head west for interleague play in Denver and in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Dirks with 2 mates aboard and 2 outs. Ground ball, second base. Got him. What a pick
by Smoke.
Jack Wilson's throw was off target, but Smoke retired Dirks. And it remains a 1-run Mariners lead. All right, Ryan, thanks. Go you Yankees.
Derek Jeter only about 8 hits shy of 3,000. He's trying to get it on the current homestand in New York before they go to play interleague baseball. They will go to play the Chicago Cubs. The Yankees will.
Settle against Miguel Olivo. It's now 1-2. The Mariners catcher. Rick had retired 10 consecutive Mariners before Olivo led off the top of the 5th inning with a home run. And then all 9 Mariners batted in that 5th inning. And Seattle scratched out 3. And Olivo serves one into center field, where Austin Jackson will take care of that one. One up and 1 down for Seattle here in the 6th. We're watching closely what happens with Cleveland. Tigers were as many as 8 games out of first place in early May. And it is the first time all year that they've even had a share of first place in the division. Right here, right now. But they'll need to find their way back against the Mariners. Down a run as we play in the 6th.
I think the American League Central will probably be decided, excuse me, just the way most experts thought it would be, with the White Sox and the Tigers at the top.
Pop up on the infield. Johnny Peralta will retire Franklin Gutierrez.
Cleveland got off to a magnificent start, which will allow them to stay in the race. But I think when it's all said and done, it'll be between Chicago and Detroit.
Chicago just 4.5 back. I found this interesting. We talk about how tight it is in the American League Central Division. That's really true throughout baseball. There is only one team in the majors right now that has won 60% of their game. And just that, the Philadelphia Phillies, with a .600 winning percentage. The best of the rest, all in the 500s.
A lot of parity in baseball these days. Lots of teams with legitimate chances of getting to the postseason.
Bud Selig is just beaming hearing you say that.
Absolutely.
Sean Figgins, the batter. Grounded out to the shortstop. Walked and scored in that last inning. Walked, stole, came around to score on a base hit. he finds himself in an 0-2 hole against Rick Porcello. He's now thrown over 100 pitches today. It's a very pleasant day temperature-wise, so the stamina for young Rick Porcello wouldn't be affected by any degree of heat or humidity today. Foul back. And he's young. He's just a lad.
Just 22 years old. Has a bright future ahead of him. 6'5", 200 pounds. He hadn't even grown into his body yet.
Going for his 7th win this year. Figgins. Short center field. Jackson comes on. He'll take care of that. And comparatively a very easy inning for Rick Porcello. 3-2 Seattle at Comerica.
Coors Light 6th inning, and now it's time for the Coors Light freeze cam. Olivo, their catcher, hit one back to Porcello off the glove. Rick didn't panic. He went over, barehanded it, picked it, and got the out at first base. Very nice play by Porcello. Coors Light freeze cam is all Light.
7-8-9 for the Tigers here in the 6th inning. Johnny Peralta will lead off. Trying to turn his day around. A couple of strikeouts for JP so far. Popped it up. Justin Smoke takes care of it right by the tarp. One pitch, one up, one down for the Tigers. And the DH today, Alex Avila, will step in. Avila with an RBI single in the 2nd inning. Struck out in the 4th. 2 early runs against King Felix Hernandez, who has shut the door since. Hernandez is 7-0 in his last 8 starts against the Tigers. .92 pitches now thrown by Hernandez. So we might find our way into the Mariners bullpen as well. So we're going to miss from Avila. There was a moment last night. A 12-pitch at bat for Alex Avila against Michael Pineda. It was the last batter that Pineda faced. Knocked him out of the game as Avila worked his way for a walk. Curveball in for a strike.
Oh, he's dirty. I mean, he is dirty. He's settling in, too. Filthy stuff.
Verlander-esque curveball from Felix Hernandez. Checked his swing. 2-2. 34 RBIs now for Alex. One of the 2 recorded by the Tigers today. John Keating and Rod Allen with you as Mario Mpemba enjoys a day off with his family. Fouled right at home plate. Shannon Hogan wandering the stands for us today, and a lovely afternoon for baseball in downtown Detroit. Midpoint of an 8-game homestand for the Tigers. The 2-2 pitch. Good eye, as they used to say in the Little League for Alex Avila. Yet another full count.
You played some Little League baseball?
I did.
Did you play after that?
I didn't. I couldn't decide between track and baseball, and as it turns out, I was equally poor at both of them. Ground ball up the middle. Ryan stumbles, and Avila is on. It's got to be a base hit, don't you think?
I would think so. Even though if he does catch the ball, he throws Alex out, but it would be tough to give him an error here. But you never know. Our official scorekeeper might just give him an error.
You see that right there? That was me in high school baseball. Right there.
Let me change directions, huh?
Maybe track is the direction I should head.
They gave him an error.
Santiago steps in. The 6 puts Avila at first. Tigers down a run. Ramon with a hustle double in his last at bat in the 4th inning against Felix Hernandez. Tigers with 6 hits against the reigning Cy Young Award winner. In his first full year, he had an ERA of 4.52. It has gone down in every successive year. There goes a runner. Santiago lifts one into left field, but Peguero will handle it. And Avila will be doubled off easily at first base. And Alex never stopped. Just walked into the dugout. Tigers are retired here in the 6th inning. It continues to be a 1-run game. Game in downtown Detroit. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. To get the most baseball games in HD, call 1-800-DirecTV.
Let's take one more look at this play with Avila running from first base on the hit and run. You're taught to look in after a couple of steps, and if you do that, you know that ball was lined into the outfield, and once Peguero gets it in his glove, if you're Avila and you pick it up soon enough, you may have had a chance to get back to first base. But what's interesting about that play, John, is that you're taught as a base runner when you're running in that situation, if the ball's lined in the infield, then you just keep going. But usually in the outfield, you try to pick that up. But apparently Avila felt like where he was, that even if he would have retreated back to first base, he wouldn't have made it back safely because he just kept going.
Jack Wilson leading off for the Mariners here in the top of the 7th inning. For Rick Porcello, it's the 5th time this season he's topped 100 pitches thrown, with a high of 120 against the Yankees. This is his 108th today. Another foul back down the left field line. Rick's worked his way into a 1-2 advantage on the Mariners second baseman. Jack Wilson now batting .241. Another foul back. The battle ensues. We mentioned that Maglio Ordonez is close. We might see him in time for tomorrow's game. Jim Leyland making a point that all that stuff is left to the medical people. Low 2-2.
What, there's still a question of whether he's healthy or not?
I think it's more that Jim just doesn't want to get involved. He made a point of saying, I will manage the people I am given to manage, and until Maglio is cleared to rejoin the team, it's fouled away. He didn't want to get into his availability. Maglio had a nice night last night for the Mud Hens. 3 for 5 with a homer. See Daniel Schlereth getting loose in the Tigers bullpen. The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball. Foul. There was so much hope attached to Mag's return this season. After the surgically repaired ankle just developed some weakness that kept him out of the Tigers lineup.
Saw Carlos Guillen running around here last couple of days too.
Porcello strikes out Wilson. So the first batter in the 7th inning is retired by Rick.
It's a well located curveball there by Porcello. Some big break on that ball.
And that will bring Ichiro to the plate. Right to Miguel Cabrera. That's the way you want to retire that guy. Not giving him a chance to beat a throw to the bait to first base. It's 2 down for the Mariners. Here comes Brendan Ryan. Infield single in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, bunt single in the 5th. He's got 2 of Seattle's 5 hits today. Make it 3. Into right center field for Brendan Ryan. Have a day, young man. So with 2 outs and a man aboard, Justin Smoke will step up. 31,572 at Comerica Park to take in the series finale, the season series finale between Detroit and Seattle. Tigers need a win to split the 10 games played between these two teams. Seattle's won 5 of the 9 thus far. This backhanded stop by Victor Martinez. Mariners, meanwhile, 2-4 on their road trip, which began in Chicago. In those 6 games, a total of 14 runs scored coming into today. 3 against Porcello today and have a 3-2 lead. Fly ball, center field. Jackson went back a few steps, now comes in. He'll take care of that. And will take care of the Mariners as well in the 7th. back to the dish for the Tigers, looking for a little offense.
A very special woman to introduce you to. Her name is Mary Johnson. She's right here, and she is celebrating her 104th birthday. Mary, the last time you were at a Tigers game, 1936, you guys, at Briggs Stadium. But she said for her 104th birthday, she wanted to see Comerica Park and spend it here. Mary, what's your day been like so far? How's it been for you?
Fine. Beautiful.
Tell me a little bit about who are some of your favorite Tiger players?
L.K. Line, Willie Horton, Gibson from St. Louis.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time. We enjoyed spending time with you, and happy birthday. Tell people out there, what is your secret? 104 years, do you have a secret?
No, work hard.
Work hard. All right, you heard it, guys. She said work hard, and she's just a fantastic woman. So happy birthday, Mary, and enjoy the rest of your game. And John and Rod, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Shannon, thanks. And we'll add our happy birthday wishes to Mary as well.
Mary said, work hard. You live to be 104.
Yeah. Well, we should top that, don't you think?
Yeah. Beautiful lady.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Bob Gibson of the Cardinals, one of her favorites, along with a couple of hometown heroes, Al Kaline and Willie Horton. She's not so happy right now because her Tigers are down 3-2 to the Mariners. And the Tigers will look to change some of that with leadoff hitter Austin Jackson stepping in. Fouled the first one beyond Gene Lamont. Felix Hernandez just has ownership of this Tigers team.
Jackson's got quite a bit of room to bunt down toward third base if that's something he's thinking about doing. There's nobody out, and Figgins is about 5 steps in back of that bag at third. You got to get some base runners on.
Like he heard you say it. Safe! Justin Smoke doesn't like that call, nor will Eric Wedge.
He was safe, though.
Austin Jackson beats out a bunt single, and Rod Allen called it.
You didn't know I was that smart, did you?
It's impressive. I got to tell you, a lot of what you do is impressive. That right there, you and I to the Motor City Casino right after the game today.
I got you. Nice job. Close play, but Jackson beat that, in my opinion.
Ooh. Tie goes to the runner.
In Little League. That's just a great play. I mean, and that's just having a feel for the game. You need to get somebody on base. You know that Felix Hernandez is starting to settle in. He's feeling pretty good out there. And now you got to put some pressure on him. It's a great play by Jackson.
Here's Don Kelly now. Figgins at the cutout next to third base. Kelly also bunts. And Hernandez goes to second and got the lead man.
What a play by Felix. Not a good bunt by Kelly. But you also have to give some credit to Hernandez. Very athletic on the mound. He was a really good basketball player growing up in Venezuela. I mean, a really good basketball player. His first love was basketball. He jumped off the mound. He didn't hesitate. He fired a strike to Ryan, the shortstop, and he got a speedy runner in Jackson. But I have to say, too, that was not a good bunt by Don Kelly.
Right back at him. And so Kelly stands on first base now, and Brendan Bosch will stand in. You have to field your position. Felix Hernandez did right there. Took care of the lead man. One down for the Tigers.
The key there, too, to that play is that Felix didn't hesitate. He knew exactly what he was going to do when he fielded the ball. He was going to second base. If he hesitates for one split second, Jackson's safe.
Well, interestingly, earlier in the game, he did hesitate. He looked towards second base. Didn't have time to get Andy Dirks at first. That kind of cost him.
Yep.
But he came right back to it, made the play. 2-0 on Bosch, now becomes 2-1. Tigers with 7 hits. Seattle with 6. But the Mariners have a 3-2 lead as we play here in the 7th. Some of the sunshine that popped through has been covered up by some cloud cover. Two and one on Bosch. Ground ball to the shortstop. Relay. Got it. 6-4-3 double play. Ends the Tigers' 7th. Tire. Get the lowest tire price period. Bell Tire. And by Motor City Casino Hotel, 1,000,000 miles away, right down the street. Spectacular views of our city. Great day to be on the lake or in the stands. And the Tigers have a new pitcher. Rick Porcello's day is done. Daniel Schlereth has entered the game.
Yeah, Daniel Schlereth comes in with pretty good numbers, pitching in his 24th game for the Tigers. 13 strikeouts in 19 innings. The opponents are hitting just .232 against Schlereth.
Got 6 strikeouts and has not allowed a run in his last 5 outings for Daniel Schlereth.
That's pretty good.
We have an upcoming edition of Tigers Weekly where we kind of went behind the scenes of a Tigers road trip, and we enlisted Daniel Schlereth to do some camera work for us. We think you'll enjoy that. I say this lovingly, he's a mess, an absolute mess. Jack Cust against Schlereth here at the top of the 8th inning. And Cust sends one into short right field where Ramon Santiago will take care of that. 1 up and 1 down here in the 8th inning. And that will bring up Carlos Peguero. Strikeout, ground out, pop out for Peguero. His last at bat, a sensational play by Don Kelly in short left field with the bases juiced to end a Mariners rally and keep a 1-run game right there. Schlereth high with a fastball. Two and 0 on the Mariners left fielder Carlos Peguero.
Well, if you're Schlereth, just don't throw him a fastball right down the middle. He's got real power. If you throw the fastball, make sure you locate it in an area where Peguero cannot get loose on you.
His swing has been compared to Fred McGriff's.
Good comparison.
And the concern with many hitters is that sometimes that swing gets a little bit long. And pitchers can have their way with you. 3-0. And a 4-pitch walk for Peguero puts a man aboard.
That's one of the things that Jim does not tolerate with Schlereth, and he has a very short leash when Schlereth is walking batters.
And the leash has been yanked to the bullpen, says the Tigers manager. There will be a pitching change. And it looks like Joaquin Benoit will enter the game. A new arm comes into the fray. People will reach for their smartphones, and you can follow the Tigers with MLB.com @BAT11, the app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Tigers.com for more details. New pitcher is Joaquin Benoit after a 4-pitch walk to Carlos Peguero. Jim Leyland came and got Daniel Schlereth, and Joaquin Benoit comes into the game to face Miguel Olivo.
Last 10 times Joaquin has gone out there for the Tigers, he's been tremendous. He got off to a very slow start. The numbers were elevated. He gave him some time off to get himself straightened out, and he's gotten straightened out. And as he has gotten straightened out, the remainder of that bullpen has been dealing.
Pinch runner has entered the game. That's Greg Holman. He's taking the place of Carlos Peguero. Holman with great speed, native of the Netherlands. One on for the Mariners with one out here in the 8th as they cling to a 1-run lead. No pitch. Time was called just before Benoit released the baseball. So much success last season for Joaquin Benoit as a Tampa Bay Ray. He'll see his former mates tomorrow night. Fly ball. Left field. Down the left field line. Home run. Just inside the foul pole. And Miguel Olivo has done it again. His second bomb of the game. And Joaquin Benoit gives up a 2-run tater, and the Mariners have a 5-2 lead.
It appeared to be a changeup, a hanging changeup, and it was drilled by Olivo. If you are a right-handed pitcher and you decide to throw that changeup to the right-handed batter, you have to make sure that you get that ball down.
It was Miguel Olivo who struck out 4 times the other night, 4 consecutive at-bats the other night. Well, he has redeemed himself mightily.
That's the beauty of baseball, though.
Absolutely.
That is the beauty of baseball.
4 times he's had more than 1 homer in a game.
That's why you can't get up too high when you're going well, and you can't go down too low when things aren't going well for you in this game.
Franklin Gutierrez now against Benoit. 0 for 3 for Gutierrez in today's game. That one hurt. Late in the game, a 1-run lead becomes a 3-run cushion. And Benoit's got to shake that off. 3-0 on Gutierrez. I just mentioned 10 straight games without allowing a run for Benoit. Yet another 4-pitch walk. Another home run for Miguel Olivo. Puts another $15,000 to support prostate cancer research. To make a donation, call 800-798-CURE or go online to pcf.org. Olivo with 2 homers, 30 grand for Miguel in the fight against prostate cancer in this particular game. So after the Gutierrez walk, Sean Figgins will stand in. Strike 1. Snap of the glove from Joaquin Benoit. He is angry at himself. Figgins walked and scored in the 5th inning. That marathon of a half inning for Rick Porcello. Foul back 0-2. His given name is Desmond Deshaun Figgins. But his pals couldn't pronounce Desmond, so he went by Deshaun, and that was shortened to Sean. Grew up in Georgia, cheering for those St. Louis Cardinals of Vince Coleman, Ozzie Smith, and Willie McGee.
Those Cardinals had some fast teams. Tommy Hare was also their second baseman.
They played on that AstroTurf.
Whitey Herzog
just got wicked hot in the summer in St. Louis.
Just let him run.
The 2-strike pitch. Fouled away.
We're starting to see that style of play come back to baseball. Not a lot of power hitting going on these days, not nearly as much as it was going on, say, 10 years ago. And the speed game is coming back. A lot of managers with hit and runs, bunts, squeezes, stolen bases.
Martinez setting up way outside. Throw down a second. Got him. It was almost as if the Tigers saw that one coming. Figgins cut down, try to steal.
It's a good ball to throw for Victor, and a nice tag here by Peralta. That ball was starting to tail on the second base side of the bag, but Johnny able to get over there and grab it, and also tag Hallman as he slid past him. Gutierrez, excuse me.
2 outs now on Sean Figgins, or 2 strikes rather, 1 and 2 with 2 outs. In the dirt, 2 and 2.
Victor's made a couple of really nice throws down to second base today. He had him too before that foot got on the bag. Right there. It's a great look.
Great call by umpire Mike Winters down at second base. Three and 2. In the bottom of the 8th, Tigers will have Cabrera, Martinez, and Dirks to face Felix Hernandez, or a reliever. The 3-2 pitch. On and on they battle. Joaquin Benoit last year, an ERA of 1.34 to lead all American League relievers. He's given up the 2-run homer to Miguel Olivo here in the 8th inning. Swing and a miss. Got him. But some words for himself from the Tigers reliever. He and his teammates have some work to do against the Mariners here late. Insurance report card. And it was on this day in 1979 that the Tigers hired Sparky Anderson as their manager, replacing Les Moss, who never really was given much of a chance, but Jim Campbell had a chance to go out and get Sparky Anderson, who had had so much success with the Cincinnati Reds, and did so, and the rest, as they say, is history. And 2 weeks from today, Sparky will be honored here in Detroit with the official retirement of his uniform number 11. Miguel Cabrera. First 2 pitches from Felix Hernandez were balls. 2-0 on the Tiger slugger. A couple of walks for Miguel in this game. Singled in his last at bat. Was poured in for a strike. 2-1. North of 100 pitches for King Felix.
It looked like in the 4th inning when he was up to about 70-something pitches that he was not going to be around for the 8th, but he settled in nicely, and now he's trying to get the ball to his closer.
That is taken by Miguel Olivo, and that's to a spot he'd rather not take it. There will be a break in the action, one could assume. Fouled right down, off the ground and up, as you can see.
Hey, Tigers fans, it's easier than ever to find the seats you want or sell the tickets to the games you can't make on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Detroit Tigers. Go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today.
They will give Miguel Olivo all the time he needs to gather himself. We've been giving you spectacular pictures from the sky over Comerica Park. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. To get the most baseball games in HD, call 1-800-DirecTV. Great to see a blimp. You know you're a big-time sports kind of market when the blimp is hovering around downtown. 31,000 and change have gathered to see the Tigers and Mariners wrap up their weekend series. Ford Field right next door, where Taylor Swift had them jammed in last night. So he had basically 100,000 or so people here in downtown Detroit last night. Another big crowd today. And there will be for the makeup game against the Tampa Bay Rays here tomorrow night. 7:05. Tigers Live get you going at 6:30 tomorrow night. 2-2 pitch to Miguel Cabrera. Ground ball foul. Just wide of third base. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the Indians roll into town. Currently doing battle with the Yankees and currently tied with the Tigers for the top spot in the American League Central Division. Inside, way up and inside, came Felix Hernandez.
Two-seam fastball got away from Hernandez. He was trying to go inside, but he was not trying to go high and tight. He was trying to go at the bottom of the strike zone, and that one just got away from him.
The last thing Hernandez wants to do is put runners on base in a game he feels like he has in hand.
He want no part of Cabrera today.
Third walk of the day for Miguel Cabrera, so Cabrera remains a perfect 1-for-1 on the afternoon with that base hit.
That kind of puts it in all into perspective, John, just how good Cabrera is when you've got a guy on the mound that's one of the best pitchers in all of baseball and really refuses to throw him a strike.
That ramps up the attention perhaps on Victor Martinez. 1 for 2 today with a walk. So the Indians losing again to the Yankees.
They lost again?
They were losing at last check. Top 7. Martinez sends one into right field. So base hit for Victor. 2 runners aboard. And the tying run comes to the plate in the person of Andy Dirks. Top hand. Yanks that one into right field. Beyond the reach of Jack Wilson. And the Tigers have a little something brewing here. Down by 3 as we play in the bottom of the 8th. Dirks lays off a curveball. 0-1. Tigers 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position today. Swing and a miss.
He has given Dirks a steady diet of breaking balls here this afternoon, and Andy has come up empty on most of his swings.
Dirks had a bunt single way back in the second inning when the Tigers scored one of their 2 runs. Added another one in the third. Got him. 3 straight pitches. Dirks went waving at that one. Foul tipped it into the mid of Miguel Olivo. And he is retired. And Johnny Peralta, who hit a bomb last night, steps in looking to do the same. Coming into today, in his last 30 games, Johnny Peralta batting .362. But he's had kind of a tough day at the office. 2 strikeouts and a pop out thus far, which means, of course, he's due. That's the way you have to look at it.
Absolutely. It only takes one good at bat per game to turn your day around.
Tigers with a couple of doubles in today's game extends their streak of consecutive games with at least 1 extra base hit every game this season. The 2-0 pitch. Fly ball right field. That's Ichiro territory. And Cabrera will move over to third. So 2 out for Alex Avila. Still with 2 runners aboard at the corners now. RBI single for Alex in the second. Struck out and reached on an error in the 6th. Martinez with a steady gaze in the direction of Gene Lamont. Way up and outside. Tigers have won 3 consecutive series. In a 4-gamer against the Mariners, they would need to win today to continue that streak. Eight hits now for the Tigers. We're going to miss by Alex Avila. Hernandez now at 123 pitches thrown.
His season high this year, 128. A couple of starts ago against the New York Yankees.
Tapped foul. This is a kid who began to get noticed when he was but a kid. 12 years old, he began attracting attention. Said he got onto a bit of a weight training program, and by the age of 15, he could throw a baseball 94 miles an hour. And by 16, he had professional interest. And not long thereafter, a contract. 1-2 on the Tigers DH today. Alex Avila right up through the middle into center field. Yet another RBI for Alex Avila as Miguel Cabrera trots home. And the Tigers have cut the deficit to 5-3.
All of the Tigers runs today that have been scored have all been scored with 2 outs. A little breaking ball that kind of stayed up on the outside part of the plate for Avila, and he didn't try to do too much with it, and he found a really nice seam right back up the box.
And a check of the day at the mound from the Mariners dugout.
When you've got a horse like Felix, if you're the manager, Eric Wedge, you simply go out and you ask him, how do you feel? Can you get this next guy out? And if he tells you yes, you trust him. Most guys, managers, will be going to their bullpen right now.
Yeah. Doesn't the pitcher always say yeah?
No, sometimes they don't.
Really?
If they're going to be honest with you, sometimes they're not all right.
Ramon Santiago steps in with 2 aboard and 2 outs. And Santiago with a chopper to the second baseman, and the force retires the Tigers. They scratch out a run. It's a 5-3 game. On to the 9th we go at Comerica Park. The Mariners lead has been sliced to 2. We play here in the top of the 9th inning. Victor Martinez with a very nice series, and Miguel Oliva with a very nice day, and Felix Hernandez trying to add to his recent run of success against the Tigers. New pitcher for the Tigers, Adam Wilk, the young lefty, enters the game.
And Wilk throws lots of strikes. You see his numbers in the minor leagues this year. 49 innings. He only walked 5 batters, but that's pretty much been his MO since being drafted and putting on a Tigers uniform. Throws lots of strikes, has all 4 pitches. Really confident in mixing all his pitches in.
Jack Wilson to lead it off. Wilk's been a young man who's been used more in long relief than in these kinds of situations. Trying to keep it close so the Tigers can make a run in the bottom of the 9th inning. Jack Wilson 0 for 3. Fouled that one straight back.
Adam Wilk went to college at Long Beach State out in California, and said he pitched out of the bullpen his first year there and then was inserted into the rotation. So he has some experience pitching in relief, albeit in college.
His was a name that you began to hear whispers about during spring training in Lakeland.
He almost made the team.
Yeah, opened some eyes there. 1-2 on Wilson. Will pop up. Short left field. Dirks comes in. He'll take care of that. 1 up and 1 down for the Mariners here in the 9th.
It went down to one of the final pitching spots. It was between Wilk and Furbush and Villarreal. Of course, Brian Villarreal made the team out of spring training because they already had a couple of left-handers in their bullpen. did the Tigers, Brad Thomas and Slater. So Jim decided to go with the hard throwing right-hander Villarreal.
Here's Ichiro against the lefty Wilk. Brad Thomas making his way back a little bit. Pitched an inning against live Tiger teammates yesterday here at Comerica. Called strike 1-1.
Ryan Perry also getting himself sorted out down in Toledo. Might not be long before we see Ryan again.
It's a big puzzle, isn't it? Trying to keep guys healthy and all your parts together.
It's a long season. It's a very long season.
Sort of a flailing strike by Ichiro there, 1-2. On the Mariners legend, inside comes Wilk. Maglio may be back soon. Brandon Inge continues to heal up. Carlos Guillen, as Rod mentioned, we saw a little bit ago. Served into left center field by Ichiro. And that's sort of a textbook Suzuki base hit.
He had 2 hits yesterday, 2 more today. As I said to you yesterday when you visited us for an inning, don't be surprised if at the end of the year this guy has 200 hits.
It's close to 70 right now. Brendan Ryan steps in. 3 singles for the Mariners shortstop today. Around a strikeout back in the 3rd inning.
So the top 2 in their batting order have done most of the damage this afternoon.
And Olivo with the 2 bombs.
Yeah, they've set the table, and Olivo's cleaned it off.
The 1-0 pitch from Adam Wilk. Ichiro sent scurrying back to first, and Ryan took the strike. Former St. Louis Cardinal Brendan Ryan. The 1-1 pitch. He sent over to first. Ryan's got this habit of sort of biting his sleeve before every at bat. People have asked him about it. He's not sure why he does it. He just does. Dude, I don't know, he said. There it is right there. Shot past third base, foul. Says it's a nervous tick that he's just sort of absorbed into a ritual. Not so much a bite there as a smooch, but you get the idea.
A bite, a smooch, they all work.
Right back up towards the broadcast booth here. Get out from under the table now.
You already know. I told you yesterday where I'd be.
Former Major League outfielder.
Right up under the carpet.
Ducking under the table. I'm John. That's Rod. Mario back with you tomorrow. Line shot right field, right at Brennan Bosch. He'll take care of that, and there are 2 down here in the 9th inning. Justin Smoke, the next hitter that Adam Wilk will face.
When you get a chance to watch Justin Smoke, and we've seen the Mariners, what, 11 times this year? 10 times.
This would be the 10th, yep.
You can see why the Seattle Mariners held them hostage in that Cliff Lee deal. They were not send Cliff Lee to Texas if they didn't include Smoke in the deal. They look like they've got themselves a first baseman for the next 10 years.
And Smoke was just beginning to be established in Texas.
Power hitter from both sides.
But they knew that they had something special in him. Obviously, it worked out well for him. They won the American League Championship with Cliff Lee on their staff. Swing and a miss.
He played some Legion ball with Matt Wieters of the Baltimore Orioles. Can you imagine these two guys on the same team?
How about that?
Big, strong, physical guys, switch hitters.
In Goose Creek, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Smoke and Wieters were teammates. The 1-1 pitch from Adam Wilk to Justin Smoke. Stays high. 2-1. In the bottom of the ninth inning, top of the Tigers order. Jackson Kelly Bosch looking to do some damage against probably Brandon League, the Mariners closer.
He looked awfully good a couple of days ago.
Fly ball. Deep left field. Dirks to the wall. Looks up. Gone.
Smoke is no joke. No joke.
Another 2-run shot. This one from Justin Smoke.
Got that home run trot going too.
And the Tigers bullpen, which has been so good lately, lets the Mariners pull away in this one.
Looked like a changeup that was out away from Smoke, but it stayed up, and with his power and his skill set, he was still able to drive that ball into his own team's bullpen. It's a big knock there. They don't usually score a whole lot of runs when Felix Hernandez is on the bump, but they scored 7 today.
They've not scored a whole lot of runs against anybody, for anybody, really.
Smoke likes hitting here. 4 big flies.
He's going to be screaming when they pull him on the bus. Jack Cust now at the plate. 2-1 against the Mariners DH today. Walk, strikeout, walk, ground out for Cust in today's game. Fouled right at home plate. So what the Tigers are hoping to get done in the bottom of the ninth inning just became a little bit busier. Down by 4. The 2-2 pitch. Count runs full now. I mentioned the Tigers in the last 35 games with that record of 23-12. Only the Red Sox better in that stretch. Ground ball. Miguel Cabrera will take it himself. And the Mariners are retired in the ninth. But not before they tack on a couple of those add-on runs. 7-3 ends. Another $15,000 to support prostate cancer research. If you'd like to make a donation, we'd love that. Call 800-798-CURE or go to PCF.org. New Mariners pitcher is Brandon League, who has emerged as one of the best in the American League this year.
He's got a big arm. He's got a power fastball, and he can throw it right by you on occasion. He's saved 18 games this year. He's blown 3. He also has a really good split-fingered fastball, too, that comes out of his hand nicely.
Austin Jackson hoping to get the Tigers going here in the 9th. Figgins in a little bit at third base. Jackson took strike 1. Those 18 saves for Brandon League, leads the American League. And the Let's Go Tigers chant ramps up here at Comerica Park. The Hawaiian native Brandon League. Pitching coach was former Major League pitcher Carlos Diaz in his high school in Honolulu. Jackson swings and misses.
He was traded from the Toronto Blue Jays to the Seattle Mariners for Brandon Morrow, who was an outstanding prospect in Seattle. And now in that starting rotation for the Toronto Blue Jays, a hard thrower. So they exchanged a starter for a reliever, a closer. Ugh. Nasty.
Jackson goes down on strikes. 1 up and 1 down for the Tigers. And the Mariners also had David Armstrong as a closer candidate, but
he had some hip surgery or something?
Yeah, he had hip surgery and been out for much of the year. Came back from the hip surgery, but developed some arm problems. There's Don Kelly now.
Well, it doesn't look like Brandon League is going to relinquish that closer's role anytime soon. Not with the stuff that he's featuring these days.
In fact, the word on David Aardsma is that he might be in need of Tommy John surgery.
Really?
Which is a shame. You hate to see that.
Jabba Chamberlain, did you see that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the Yankees is going to have Tommy John surgery.
We're basically out a year.
At least.
The 0-2 pitch here from Brandon League to Don Kelly. Sent in the direction of the shortstop. Nice pick by Ryan over to Smoke. And the Tigers are down to their final out. See that Brandon League's got the sleeves going. Part of that is he's one of those who seems to be enamored with this notion of tattoos that we have seen so many young people embrace. And one of his tattoos is basically his name embroidered from shoulder to shoulder, much like you see on his uniform. Brennan Bosch steps in against the tattooed League. Strike 1.
Glad they started all that tattoo stuff.
Never thought about it?
A little later, when we were a little older.
I don't like needles, so that would have ended the discussion for me. The 0-1 pitch. Bosch swings and misses.
When I was coming up in high school, I had to fight to get an earring.
Did you have an earring?
I did.
And the fro?
Yeah.
Yeah. Styling.
A little small earring on one ear. Not two, just one.
All that's grown back together now?
No, I can still put one in there if I want to.
All right. Got him. And Brandon League comes in and dispatches the Tigers in rather quick succession. 1-2-3 go the Tigers in the bottom of the 9th inning. And the Mariners have nailed down a 7-3 win. And they have split the series here this weekend with the Tigers 2 games each. Impressive. From Felix Hernandez to Brandon League. And the Tigers come up short here this afternoon. We've got much more ahead. We'll continue the process of looking back on what's been an otherwise glorious day at the ballpark in a moment.